A pirate, a rabbi, and an English colonial governor walk into a bar, and they all said, "Ouch." This is Historically Zoe. So in the last episode, we did an in-depth dive into how exactly pirates contributed to the colonial development of Jamaica. And in this episode, we're going to address the title of the whole series, Pirate Jews. There may or may not have been actual swashbuckling, sword-swinging pirate Jews. But there's no denying the correlation between pirates and Jews. Oftentimes, to get more concrete evidence of real pirate Jews, you have to go outside the scope of what this project was. For example, Moses Cohen Enriquez. He was a pirate that operated out of Dutch Brazil in Recife. And he was one of the most successful Jewish pirates of all time. He ended up assisting in the capture of a Spanish treasure galleon for the Dutch, and he was really cool. He also may or may not have ended up retiring on the island of Jamaica. The history gets a little bit fuzzy. There's also the account of the buccaneer Bartholomew Portugues. Detailed in Dutch buccaneer John Esquemeling's book, Buccaneers of America, Portugues openly claimed Portuguese nationality at a time when the nationality was totally equated with being Jewish. Furthermore, Portugues had a common Jewish name, sailed to and from Jamaica in the 1660s, and attacked Spanish ships with little regard to profit. Ed Kritzler, a historian and journalist who researched Jewish piracy for over 20 years, argues that Bartholomew Portugues was a real Jewish pirate who lived in Jamaica. However, the evidence just isn't concrete enough for me to definitively agree with that claim. However, if you consider bankrolling or sponsoring pirate ships to be participating in piracy, then the Jews of Jamaica were not only involved in piracy, but allowed it to flourish. They outfitted pirate ships, told them of potential targets, and in return, were the first to get grabs at cargo when pirates came back to shore. The trade monopoly between Jews and pirates was long-standing. Jews and pirates had worked together to trade illicitly with Spanish colonies since before the 1670s. In the 1680s, about half of the ships entering Port Royal proceeded to the Spanish colonial markets. Privateers originating from Jamaica traded illegally with the Spanish, either in Port Royal or in the Spanish colonies. In 1669, the ship Mary and Jean, captained under Bernard Nicholas, a veteran privateer, was twice found with cargoes intended for the Spanish market. The captain called first at Jamaica, where the governor gave him a letter of friendship to provide a pretext for entering a Spanish port. This quote comes from Nuala Zahida, a professor at the University of Edinburgh, who studies the participation of pirates in commerce. A letter of friendship, similar to a letter of marque, allowed privateers and pirates to semi-permissibly trade with the Spanish outside of the real legality of the situation. Jews also traded illicitly with the Spanish. In 1662, a ship sailed to Port Royal and was co-signed by two Jewish merchants that lived there, Benjamin Muscat and Isaac Cordoza. It was headed towards Cuba and contained goods that were desired for Spanish trade. With an established trade monopoly, it is possible that Jews and pirates worked together to trade illicitly with the Spanish. As Zahida states, there is little documentation of Jamaican trade with the Spanish because it was illegal. Everything had to be off the books. So the historical record is lacking. But if both privateers and Jews traded with the Spanish, then it's possible that this commonality strengthened the ties between them and deepened their relationship. If both parties had no issue illegally trading with the Spanish, whereas non-Jewish white merchants may have, then a relationship could flourish between the two participants in this trade monopoly. The monopoly between Jews and pirates was another complaint of petitions addressed by non-Jewish white merchants. They asked Governor Thomas Lynch to stop a perfect trade monopoly that the pirates and Jews devised. They state in a 1672 petition that they are emboldened to inform His Honor of the prejudices and inconveniences which threaten them by the infinite number of Jews which daily resort to this island and trade amongst us, contrary to all law and policy. There being a positive act of Parliament which gives a general prescription to them all, and others to forbid positively any aliens to sell anything by retail. Their trading is a perfect monopoly, for they are a kind of joint stock company and not only buy up the choicest and best goods, but frequently buy up whole cargoes, undersell petitioners, which they can better bear because of their own penurious way of living, and at last give the whole measure to the market. While this petition makes no direct mention of pirates, it can be assumed that they are the other party that the non-Jewish white merchants are referencing. This is because of the fact that they traded contrary to all law and policy, as well as the fact that Jews were buying up whole cargoes. If most ships that were coming to Jamaica were pirate ships and most cargoes coming to Jamaica were pirated cargoes, then they have to be the other party that the non-Jewish white merchants are talking about. The monopoly did not stop because Jews and pirates worked well together and they were getting rich. Furthermore, the trade monopoly was even endorsed by the governor of Jamaica. In a letter alongside that 1672 petition I just read, Governor Thomas Lynch stated that His Majesty cannot have more profitable subjects than the Jews. They have great stocks and correspondence. His Majesty cannot find any subjects but Jews who will adventure their goods or persons to get a trade. Their parsimony enables them to sell the cheapest. They are not numerous enough to supplant us, nor is it in their interest to betray us. Because of the financial success that the Jews brought, it was a smart financial decision to endorse the Jews and their trade monopoly. By endorsing Jews as profitable subjects, Lynch makes the Jews legitimate in the eyes of the king. Legitimacy is a common theme in the parallel stories of the Jamaican pirates and the Jamaican Jews. Despite petitions, taxes, and calls for the removal, Jews stayed on the island because they could provide the English monarchy wealth. Furthermore, even though what they did was illegal, pirates were able to stay on the island because of the money they brought the English monarchy. The English profited off Jewish mercantilism, and that eventually brought them legitimacy and citizenship. Likewise, when their skills could be exploited against the Spanish, the pirates gained legitimacy through letters of marque and letters of friendship. Profitability and legitimacy allowed both Jews and pirates to establish a presence on the island of Jamaica. And Jews and pirates gained more than just legitimacy because of their relationship. They each gained respective freedoms that were unparalleled in the old world. Pirates left rigid socioeconomic structures that didn't have any room for growth or movement, and then ran wild on the island of Jamaica. Between brothels, rambunctious taverns, and a hero-like status, it's no wonder that Port Royal was referred to as Sodom from the biblical Sodom and Gomorrah. Nowhere else in the world was there a pirate safe haven like Port Royal, and there wouldn't be another one until the golden age of piracy, where safe havens like this became more common. Jews too gained freedom like the pirates, but instead of a lawless freedom, they gained a religious and cultural freedom unrivaled in the old world. Jews practiced their religion openly and without shame. They employed a kosher butcher, kept the Sabbath, took their taluses and prayer shawls with them when they sailed, and practiced in synagogues that were founded across the island. So it was a quid pro quo situation. Jews and pirates worked together, giving each other benefits, and because of that, they built Jamaica together. That's it for this episode of Historically Zoe. Again, my name is Zoe Katz. This video series is part of Agnes Scott College's History 440 Directed Research course and is under the advisement of Associate Professor of History Robin Morris. To learn more about this series, you can visit piratejews.zoekatz.agnescott.org or follow me on Twitter @HistoricallyZoe. Thanks so much and see you next time.